Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to solve inequalities. And so to solve inequalities, we actually use the same method as when we solve equations. So we want to undo the operation or do the opposite of the operation that is currently being used. So for example, when it says solve x minus 3 is greater than 1, and then also wants us to graph that solution. So we have to identify what operation is currently being used and how do we undo that operation. So first things first, I'm just going to draw a line down underneath my inequality sign just so I can really see that there are two sides of the inequality. So when I identify subtraction is being used right here, to undo subtraction or to do the opposite of subtraction, I have to add. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides of my inequality. Minus 3 plus 3 cancels out because that's just 0. Bring down my x. I have x is greater than 1 plus 3, which is 4. So my solution is x is greater than 4. And now that I have a solution, I can go ahead and graph this just like we learned how to do in the previous video. So I'm going to make my number line. I'm going to find 4 and I'm going to put a circle in 4. But remember what we learned about in our previous video is that when it is just greater than or less than, I'm going to have an open circle on 4 because 4 is not included as part of that solution. X can't actually be 4. It can be any number greater than 4, but it can't actually be 4. And since x is greater than 4, my arrow is going to go to the right. And that is my graph for that inequality. All right, let's try using subtraction. So example 2 says solve 15 is greater than or equal to 6 plus x. So again, I'm just going to draw a little line down my inequality sign just so I can see that there's two sides of this inequality. If this does not work for you, you don't have to do it. I just kind of want to show you guys what it really looks like to undo the operation. So 6 plus x, that's addition. So to undo addition or to do the opposite of addition, I have to subtract. So I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. Or my 6 over here cancels out because 6 minus 6 is just 0. So I'm left with x right there. And the reason that you can't, some of you guys have been asking me, the reason you can't subtract x is because we don't know what x is. You can only subtract a number. Subtracting x from that side won't help us because we still wouldn't be able to figure out what x actually is. Okay, so 15 minus 6, we have 9. And I'm going to bring down my inequality sign, so I have 9 is greater than or equal to x. So you can keep this written like it is, 9 is greater than or equal to x, or you can just flip it around and say x is less than or equal to 9. So these are saying the same things. And you can even tell because remember if you make the little Pac-Man or like the little alligator mouth is open at 9 and it's open at 9 here as well. So they're saying the same exact thing, it's just written in a different order. So I'm going to go ahead and graph my solution here. I think I'm going to go up by 3s this time on the number line, just so I have less numbers to write out. So I have a circle on 9 this time because it's or equal to 9, because it can include that 9, I'm going to have a closed circle on 9. And then this sentence says that x is less than 9. So my arrow is going to go to the left because x is any solution that is less than 9.